Hi, everyone, and welcome back. We are on the discovery track of Sweden Innovation Days. And hopefully, you got a few just seconds or minutes to stretch your legs when you are sitting in all these digital meetings and sessions. You need to move a little bit. So, we are trying to squeeze in some short breaks. We just heard from Kista Science City how they were testing, showing, and collaborating. And actually, their collaborating partner of Sweden Innovation Days is France. And I am so happy to introduce the next session, where the first speaker is Mr. Antoine Coiret. He's the president of the Hub France IA. Welcome, the stage is yours.
So hello, hello everybody. Thanks a lot to Chista for this presentation. And of course, the French AI Hub is very proud to be one of the partners of the Sweden Innovation Day, especially with four main events since Tuesday, with AI landscape on Tuesday evening, with workshop and matching with different companies yesterday, and with this industrial session, especially on mobility today. By the way, you know also that actually there was yesterday also the GaiaX conference, and where the France AI is also involved, and so we are indeed very proud to be all together to create the next move for Europe on the data space and also on the AI space. We hope that this panel will be very interesting, especially on mobility and also on bots with Jerome and with Alexander. France AI Hub is also in cooperation with different companies and labs in Sweden, and especially with a new announcement yesterday by Commissioner Thierry Breton on an investment of 2 billion on the AI for the AI industry. It will be great to create also cooperation and partnership between Sweden and France on different fields, such as mobility, but also healthcare with a great company like AstraZeneca, with energy also. And so I hope that bilateral interaction between countries and hub, during this Sweden Innovation Day, but with France AI, also with TUM, that was present also in the morning, that this bilateral cooperation will be a new way for Europe to create industrial partnership, industrial ecosystem, besides large company, but also with partnership between different small companies or startups, because we are really involved with the hub to create ecosystem at the French level, but also at the European level. And we definitely think that ecosystem, especially with cooperation between startups, labs, and the large companies, which will be a large part of the next evolution of the economy, especially of the digital economy. And so we are very involved to create also partnership and programs and projects between all the countries. It's also a new way to create European projects, not only via the European investment, but also with bilateral investment of different companies, of different governments. And at the France AI Hub, we are also quite pushy, especially towards our French government, to create bilateral cooperation and bilateral investment on specific project and industry. We have already some bilateral cooperation between Finland and France, between Germany and France, also between the Netherlands and France, and so it will be great for this Sweden Innovation Day to be a start for also great cooperation and investment in innovation between the Swedish government and the French government. So thanks a lot once more to give us this stage to talk in your Sweden Innovation Day. It's really great for us also to create this European cooperation, and I let the place to the stage to the panel we have today from France, by the way.
So much, Antoine, and I'm hoping that I can leave the discussion to Petra Dalunde. She's the AI Node Manager of AI Sweden. Petra, are you with us?
Yes, I am. Thank you so much. Now we will spend about 20 minutes getting to know France Hub IA a bit more. But I would like the participant to introduce themselves. Clément, could you begin shortly?
Yes, so thank you for welcoming me today. I'm Clément Aubourg, I'm based in France, and I'm French, as you can hear. I'm the head of autonomous vehicle for the Keolis Group, which is one of the top 3 public transport operators worldwide, and I'm in charge of the experts of this area for the group, helping all the subsidiaries we have worldwide.
Thank you. Jérôme, could you introduce yourself, please?
Yes, hello, so I'm Jérôme Monceau. I'm a founder of a company here in France that is doing interactive AI. We are designing characters that can interact in public spaces in order to bring services to people to improve services, but also the way we are living in all together. And I was previously working on humanoid robots, still here in France.
Thank you. Alexandre?
Yes, nice to meet you. Thanks very much for your invitation. I'm Alexander. I'm the CEO of a company called Clearis. Clearis has developed AI solutions in order to detect and follow different kind of objects in videos, and specifically for mobility issues for smart cities.
Thank you so much. Karin, a short introduction, please.
Thank you, Petra. Well, I'm Karin Bengtsson, working for Kista Science City, and we're partnering with the Hub France IA for this event. And so we're really happy to be here and see this as the first step of creating closer collaboration with France.
Thank you so much, all of you. So here we will talk a bit about the advantages and challenges with innovation collaboration between 2 countries, and in this case, Sweden and France. So I will begin with you, Karin and Antoine. You both represent innovation hubs in Stockholm and Paris. Could you tell us a bit more about what type of role innovation clusters can take in leading the development towards sustainable smart cities? Antoine, please begin.
Okay, so indeed, for sustainable smart cities, we can say that today in the mobility sector, there are 2 main trends based on AI and data. The first one, indeed, is that we move actually from cities which were mainly managed with, say, static data. And there is a big disruption based on as well modelization, simulation, and also hypervision based on real-time data, and also on AI algorithm to manage city on an interactive way, much more evolutive depending on how the traffic is moving, and so which will have quite a big impact also as well on congestion, but also on pollution, because if you manage with more interactive data the traffic, then you will lower quite a lot the pollution indeed. The second big trend, of course, as Clément said, is of course autonomous vehicles, which are not only autonomous cars, but also like Keolis do, autonomous buses, autonomous trams, and so on. And the second trend based on autonomy and also on electric vehicle, it will also have a big impact on how people will use public transport with a much interactive way because of different skill of the transport and transportation mode, and also based on electric vehicles. Of course, it will change the grid in the city, but the more electric vehicles we will have in the city, and the less pollution also we will have. So we are especially convinced that real-time data and so real world and real traffic data, and combined with AI, we will have a very important impact on to have more sustainable cities. And for example, even at a high level in France, the next big focus from the French government on the next investment, of course, there will be the environmental change, but the second one is digital and AI, because we are very convinced France, as well as the French government, that mixing data and AI will have a big impact on climate change also.
Thank you so much, Antoine. Karin, could you give us your view on the topic?
Well, thank you, Petra. And I think Antoine highlighted very well the issues that are at stake here. And I think when we look at smart cities, we can see that these are really big challenges that not one actor can solve on their own. So I think what we can do as innovation hubs or clusters is really to support these new solutions and sort of broad perspectives. And bringing in different actors. We need the city of Stockholm, for example, where we are the region. They are the ones that have the challenges, and we need to link them with guys like we have here in the panel today that have some of the solutions. So I think that is really our role as an innovation hub here, to link different actors and to be neutral in the sense that our only perspective here is to make sure that we find good solutions and new businesses for our companies.
Thank you, Karin. And now, Jerome and Alexander, you both lead startups. Which are the part of Hub France IA? How important would you say that these kinds of innovation clusters are for you? Jerome, could you please start?
Yes, sure. The point for us to be with the Hub France AI is to be able to meet people from other countries that could help us to explain our approach and explain how well we can embody the smart aspect of the smart city. So as you understood, we are delivering interactive character installed in digital kiosk. It could be in bus station or in a cultural center, museum, and so on and so forth. And we are doing that with specialists of cities, smart cities. And each country have their own specialists. And this is for us a very good way to discover what's happened in other countries.
Thank you, Jerome. Alexandre, please.
Yes, thanks. This was also a great opportunity for us to meet the France AI organization. Actually, it was the opportunity for us to meet different people and to participate to a wonderful project which was called Syria, which objective was to modelize the Versailles area as far as traffic was concerned. And then we had the opportunity to gather information, data coming from a kind of panel of vehicles, as well as exhaustive data coming from our software that was installed on the video surveillance cameras of the city, and for which we had the opportunity to measure exactly the number of vehicles as well as their characterization. Should it be some vehicles, some big trucks, or other kind of vehicles? And this was extremely interesting, as we had then the opportunity to talk with the city regarding some information that they were looking for. For example, they had in mind to change the roads organization in some areas. So, should it be to stop certain kind of vehicles to go on certain roads, or to close different roads, or to create some bicycle additional roads, etc., etc. So all this kind of information has been able, thanks to this very, very impressive project called Syria.
Thank you so much. Okay, Clément, Keolis has, you represent a corporate point of view in this session, Keolis. Could you give us a brief introduction of yourself and your role at Keolis and your mission?
Yes, of course. So, as I said, I'm the head of autonomous vehicle for the Keolis Group. Despite the size of the group, we are more than 65,000 employees worldwide. I'm doing kind of entrepreneurship as I'm developing the activity for the group and autonomous shuttles. The aim for us is to be able to provide a service to our clients, which are the public transport authorities, exactly the way we offer services of buses, of trams, trains, subways, etc. So that's part of the activity, and I've been working on that for more than 4 years now, and we have assisted our local teams in Sweden and in other countries, developing more than 50 projects like this to better know the advantages and drawbacks of the industry and to prepare for the future.
Okay, so you have now done it in Stockholm, in the streets, in this initiative led by the Innovation Hub Urban ICT Arena. What was it like doing it for real in Stockholm?
So this project called 5G Ride was really exciting. First was due to the quality of the partners we had. Kista Science City, Ericsson, Telia, Intel, and even smaller companies like T Engineering. So it was really refreshing, and it's also key for us because of the quality of the cooperation we have and everything they bring to us. Keolis has been in Sweden for almost 20 years now. Yes, it was in 2003, and this country is definitely key for us. It's strategic, and these projects definitely show that we can innovate in this country, adding the value of all the partners we have, and that was really key. It was also important and a chance for us to show something we've been working on for years now, bringing the connectivity and the service for such vehicles to be able to once again prepare for the future, because we're doing mostly test and learn, but I mean that's the first step to deploy at a broader scale.
Thank you. Okay, so I would like to talk a bit about cross-border collaboration here. I understand that in France it's more common that corporates work together with startups, and in Sweden it's more common that innovation collaboration is between public sector and startups. How do you think we could learn from each other and benefit from collaboration in this sense? Anyone? The question is open.
Can I start just very briefly, just taking on from what Clément said and the experience that we have of working with Keolis, and I think we have had a really good collaboration with Stockholm Stad and the region of Stockholm that we bring into this partnership. But if I look at the smaller companies that are part of our project, it's great to also have the French corporate side, and that of course hopefully means that they can also scale with the corporates that they have, and the corporates of course have the advantage of being in many countries, so it's excellent to have a company like Kjol is with us that can learn and take experience from one country to another. So I think that is really something that is really important for us in bringing in new corporate partners into our collaborations and the projects that we do here, where we bring in the public side as well.
Very good, Karin. If it's often said also that in Sweden, Swedish innovation collaboration, we have a strong culture of triple helix, academia, public sector, and industry are collaborating together. What would you say that the strength of the innovation climate are in France? What are your strongest sides in France?
Maybe in France, what we have in terms of collaboration is indeed collaboration between as well large companies and labs, or also between startups and labs, because indeed we have quite strong programs of investment, especially on the R&D side, which create this kind of collaboration. Maybe what when you raise your questions, and based on what was said also by Karin, is that collaboration. In France, it's sometimes much more difficult to create collaboration between public sector and startup, especially because of course it's the time is not the same. And also that in France, I don't know how it is in Sweden, but in France we have also the public market legal term, and which is not that easy for startups because the potential amounts are not such important, and so it's sometimes quite difficult, and so we have to manage or to find some different tracks to find a way to collaborate close to the public market, but not especially in the public market. But so maybe in a nutshell, our main strength maybe is on R&D investment to boost and to foster especially startup projects. Yeah.
Thank you, Anton.
I can react on that point. So here in France, we are working with both a corporate and public market. And for what I see, and I don't know if it can be generalized to Sweden too, is that one of the main big difference in between corporate and public market is that corporate are very proof of concept oriented. So they want a KPI, they want a return on investment, and in a very fast way. And if it works, that's okay, and then we can do things. If it do not work, then we have to wait and to improve our side and be back later on. So it's quite a short time-based interaction. Public market is very different because when we start, it could be difficult to get into that public market. But since we are in that public market, then the collaboration is very adapted for a long-time project to improve core tech and deep technology that we need to do that. For instance, here in France, we are working with the National Space Agency in order to develop an astronaut companion, and it's a project that is well funded and that is running since few years, and this is very rare to have a R&D and innovation project as long as it with corporate here.
Thank you so much.
If I can add just one word, this is exactly the kind of project I was talking about, the Syria project, for which we totally worked with the public market, and it was not an issue at all. And we would be extremely keen to initiate some experimental projects as well on the Swedish market with the public organizations. That would be absolutely great, and we are very keen on that.
Thank you so much. I would like to start summing up a bit. We have not so much time left. Are there any concrete collaboration activities within smart cities that you would welcome, especially between France and Sweden and the clusters here? France IA and Urban ICT Arena? Do you have a dream project that you would like to launch?
If I may say something, I have the chance to be at the headquarters, centralizing all the projects we have. So definitely have some projects in common, and I can definitely say that we benefit from all the best practice we had. For instance, we'll launch soon a project in Gothenburg, and this is only possible because we have done some equivalent projects, maybe not that advanced, but still some projects in the city of Rennes, for instance. And the project we were talking about in Stockholm with the 5G ride is definitely a key for us to know the benefits of this technology. We have a test site in France near Châteauroux, and I would dream, if that's an answer to your question, about some better collaboration in terms of technology and being able to test on both countries these new use cases.
Is there any particular talent or competence that you are looking for in this specific dream project that we could look for?
On our side, we are definitely looking for motivated people taking up new challenges, exploring the unknown, if I may say, because it's definitely an innovation. So nothing's really specific. Don't need to be an engineer or a business guy, as long as you are motivated and ready to face these challenges with us.
Okay.
Maybe an additional point indeed is that because just before there was a Swedish panel, especially with Bumby Labs, and indeed one of the key points also is to be able to manage and access data. And indeed, in this kind of, if I have a dream, indeed, to mix what, for example, Alexander talked about Versailles, but we have also some projects in Loire Valley, so the Chambord and so on. You know, in France we have many castles. So, but I know that in Sweden too. But by the way, we can all indeed some cooperation between, for example, data that Bumby Labs can collect and the AI simulation and algorithm that we have with Alexander, and indeed we can match these two skills between Swedish data and French algorithms to have an impact on Swedish city media. And to go also beyond what Clement said, indeed 5G will be very interesting, especially on the number of data, and IoT, and so on, and on much more on the R&D side. Maybe to work between Ericsson and some AI ecosystem in France on AI software could be also quite interesting on the R&D plan.
Yeah, thank you, Anton. Yes, thank you. Thanks everyone for participating in this short overview of France IA and the advantages and challenges of cross-country innovation collaboration. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
Thanks a lot.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Thank you so much to Petra and Franz and Kista Science City. Thank you for hosting this session, and thank you so much to Sara as well for being really active at the chat. So we have been discussing cultures, and yesterday we were talking at the Ignite conference about the Swedish culture fika. So it's actually time for our coffee break now. 15 minutes, and in Sweden we have fika with a cinnamon bun and black coffee. So in 50 minutes we will be back, and then we are going back from France to Sweden and Linköping. I hope to see you all then. Have a nice break.